This is the TAF Hub, a show brought to you by TAF Africa Global to educate you on real estate matters, to mentor you and inspire you.
After 48 years of working and also traveling all over the world, I am ready to share my experience with you, especially those young ones who follow me for inspiration.
I'll just start off with a congratulations. Congratulations to all of you. You've made it to TAFLA 4.0, or in a formal term, TAFLA 4th Cohort. This is the orientation ceremony and I welcome all of you. I am Abis Bisise, fondly called Bisbis, and I am the program coordinator of TAF Africa Foundation. So I'll just start by telling you a little about TAF Leadership Academy. Most of you do know it's a leadership academy purposely for young Gambians who are in tertiary education. This is an academy where we nurture young people to mold them into better leaders. As you can see on the banner, we have identified 12 topics. These topics will be dealt with experts who are good in all the identified topics.
Now let me tell you why I am doing this. I am doing this because in life, I think one should leave a legacy. As simple as that. Life is worth living. If I am seen to be successful as a Gambian who started here from nothing and raised up with due modesty to where I am today, I want to be remembered rightfully when I leave this world. And it's going to happen. And later, on another day, I will tell you about my philosophy with life and how I've divided life into 4 quadrants. The last quadrant is legacy, and I am in that quadrant. So everything I am doing has got to do with my legacy. I am bearing in mind that what do I want to be remembered for? And that is why I am doing this. I want to be remembered that I have touched lives. I don't want to be remembered by going to TAF City and seeing what is there. Those are structures. One way or the other, something will happen to them, or somebody else greater will come. I don't want to be remembered by whatever somebody thinks that I am worth. But I want to be remembered by the lives I have touched. That in this room here, on the 19th of March 2023, there was this young Ibrahima or young Fatu who was sitting here. And fast track, in the next 15 years or 10 years, he or she is sitting in a very high pedestal of decision making and making a difference. That is what life is all about. Life is not about the wealth we make. Life is not about the material things we acquire. Life is about the difference we make in other people's life. And that will make us live in a better world. Quite often we see around us, a very good example is what happened in Senegal some few days ago. And it's happening in quite a number of sub-Saharan African countries. People of your age group or even younger, or a bit older, who are on the rampage. It is not because they believe in one political leader. No. The reason is because they don't have hope. Life is tough for them. So all they see that, yes, there is a guy who has now made it to life, and I am here suffering, and it's their fault and not my fault. So what do? They go on looting. They go on destruction. So people like us who think that we are better, we are now on the defensive. Our lives are threatened. The cars that were burnt in Dakar, the businesses that were destroyed, that had got nothing to do with politics. But the reason is because we have neglected you people. So you are at a stage where you might be stepping into a position of leadership. And when you are there, think about your followers. All of us have followers. If you go back home, some of you, I'm sure at your age, you have siblings, younger siblings. Those people are your followers. You need to set bright examples for those. And bright examples as a good leader. That's where it starts. The leader is not on political decisions where the president sits, or a minister, or a businessman, or an imam, or a pastor, but it starts at home. You have younger brothers and sisters. If you get up in the morning and then you start smoking your weed, or drinking some alcohol, or as a woman doing otherwise, what do you expect your brother or your sister to do? He or she will think it's the right thing to do and will follow your footsteps. So that is why we want to capture you at this age, to make sure we teach you, these core values of leadership. One, integrity. Jump. You look at your inner self and say, look, without even anybody looking, I will not do this because it is not right. Integrity. Then number two is commitment, that you are doing something and you are committed to it, that you will do it right. You are not doing it because you have to do it, you've been forced to do it, but you are committed in doing it. So I have given you a contract and you're doing it, so you do it because there's value, you have a commitment, you believe in it and you should do it. Then number three, empowerment. Empowering people, giving back to you guys to say, look, you guys are the ones who should do it, so we empower you so you get things done. Most leaders don't. They don't empower people. It's all about themselves. And for me, honestly, I tell you all the time, and you will see it, everything being organized here is happening because I have empowered my staff. I don't know how much the hall is costing. I don't know whatever is going on. But I've empowered them to take decisions and get things done. And that's the way my business runs. I have some people who are working for me in Nigeria. Some are working for me now in Sierra Leone. I take my 8 hours sleep, relax. My tools are my phones. That's how I communicate with them. So I empower them. Futuristic vision. A leader must be futuristic. You must think about what's going to happen for the people that you are leading. So they follow. So you have to think that, look, I am heading to Senegal, and that's the way I am going to navigate it. You as the leader must have it. Accountability. A leader must be accountable. You must be there. You are giving responsibility to do something. So you must be accountable to people that you are leading, or your responsibilities. Decision making. A leader must take decisions, whether wrong or right. If you are sitting on the fence, you are not a leader. Then empathy. You are leading your followers, so be empathetic. Know that you are not the same. You might be lucky for one reason or the other that you are there. Yes, you've worked hard, but there are people who are under you and are not as privileged as you are. So be empathetic. Confidence. Danga ulusa bopa. You saw it all the time. Who follows the Lamba here in Senegal? When the Lamba, Sumbur Mitahawe, with a lot of confidence, that's point number one. So somebody there as a leader must be confident. First sight, you say, yes, he's going to do it or she's going to do it. Good communication. You need to be able to communicate so people know who you are and your message must get through. Then honesty. Need dafa gore. Honesty. Today, what do we see out in the streets? You have public officers openly taking bribe. That is not right. So at your age now, you must say, I will not do it. Honesty is key as a leader. Innovation, you need to be innovative. Think about what is it that we are doing now that we can do better. And those who are innovative will always win. And last but not the least, passion. When you love it, you will not think about what you get, the returns you get back from it, but the passion you have for it. So Mr. Salieu Taal needs no introduction. There was a bio that we sent. What I normally do on TAFLA, I allow them to introduce themselves. And that is based on the fact that I want to change the narratives. There's a saying that people normally say here, or even in the English language, or you're blowing your own trumpet. Not so. Me, I am different. I want you guys to grow up to find the biggest trumpet. If you have it, blow it. It's your own. Let's blow our trumpet. So today, we celebrate the president of the Bar Association, Mr. Salieu Taal, who will talk to you basically on your responsibilities as young people. Thank you very much, Mr. Taal.
I'm not very good at blowing my trumpet, but one thing I've learned from this PA, formerly known as Youth Man, soon to be Youth PA, is that tell your story. If you don't tell your story, others will control your narrative. The topic I will address is a topic that's very close to my heart. It's a topic I'm very passionate about. It's a topic that I've lived through and continue to live through. The topic is very packed. This topic could be divided into many sessions. Leadership, youth empowerment, and the role of youth in the upcoming municipal elections. I am really and truly honored to deliver this lecture. In fact, I am delighted to do so on this platform, TAF Leadership Academy. I say so because TAF is a mentor, a friend, a brother, and a buddy. You don't need any lecture because TAF really is an embodiment of transformative leadership. And the creation of TAFLA speaks to his passion of not only leading by example, but helping to create and nurture future leaders. What is leadership? What is the role of a leader? There's no hard and fast rule of defining a leader. You can go to a dictionary, you can go to Google or ChatGPT if you're modern, up to date with AI. And there are various definitions of leadership. And some of the traits are listed here on the board. I am not a leadership expert. I am not a leadership guru. And I have not read extensively on the topic. But I'm very privileged to have led and continue to lead. I'm very privileged to be mentored by great leaders within the country and outside the country, including Uncle TAF, who actually I gave the name Youth Man. Right? At this juncture, I am formally requesting that Mr. Mustapha Njie, fondly known as TAF, be elevated from Youth Man to Youth PA. Can you clap for him? Coming back to the topic after my little digression. As I said, there's no standard definition, but there are traits, identifiable traits of leadership. And when I speak of leadership, I don't just speak about any leadership. I speak of leadership that is transformative. There are leaders who I call functional leaders. They have positions like, when you start a business, you have put a card, you put CEO, chairman, president of Bar Association, for example, CEO of TAF Global, managing director, director. Those are titles. I speak of leadership that focuses on creating positive and meaningful change within your organization, community, country, or even family. This is the type of leadership that we need in Africa. It's the type of leadership that interests Mustapha Njie and myself. And examples of this leadership are the likes of the venerable Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, Barack Obama, Lee Kuan Yew, people who have passed away, apart from Barack Obama, of course. We need him around for a bit longer. But the legacy they have left, indelible marks when it comes to the world, not only where they live. In my perspective, leadership is essentially the ability to inspire, what's the word? Inspire. And motivate others, i.e., like Mustapha Njie, it's bring all of us here, to achieve common objectives or goals, to be able to bring about change. And change, I mean positive change, because you can have positive change, you can have negative change. For me, you cannot be a good leader if you are bad influence. That influence must be positive. You must be able to bring about positive behavioral change. Positive. It's very important. Most of I think, the 12 values or traits found in leadership have been listed here, and I will not bore you too much. So my job has been made easy. But I will identify 8 key traits that many leaders, effective and transformative leaders, have. These are the leaders who leave a legacy, like this old pa, now in his final quadrant, who's more concerned about legacy than money, wants to leave behind. And these are, if you look at these kinds of people, if you watch them closely, these are things you will find in them. Vision, they have a vision. Integrity, now it's all about ethical leadership. Emotional intelligence, being decisive, being adaptable, being confident, having great communication skills, being strategic thinkers, and being courageous. These are my summary, which is pretty much subsumed in this 12 values. I will go into this briefly. An effective leader must have a very clear vision. They will stand here and say, I want to get over there. That's where I want to get to. And now, hatch a plan, draw a map to take themselves and their team to their destination and inspire others towards achieving that goal of reaching that destination. So you must have a vision of where to get to, right? Like, for example, Gambia, we have a blueprint. We had Vision 2020, we had the NDP. I think we have another one, I can't remember the name, but NDP 2, I guess, where as a country, this is where we want to reach. And that vision is set by the leadership. Leaders, you can be smart, you can be educated, you can have capacity, you can be competent. But if you don't have integrity, to me personally, it means nothing. That's why you might have very capable professionals in positions who end up not being accountable or being corrupt or not being transparent, despite the fact that they have the technical capacity to get the job, but their integrity is what is lacking, and it affects their performance. So integrity is very important. You have to be honest, ethical, trustworthy. It's about doing the things the right way, Not only doing it right, doing things the right way. So ethical leadership is key, is important. You are a young man, woman, you be in leadership position. You must jealously guard your integrity. Another trait of great leaders is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, actually, women tend to have it more than men. It's a concept in psychology where basically it's about how do you navigate with your emotions to build strong institutions, manage conflict, manage social relations. It's something that is difficult. It's difficult to. My apologies. It's something that is difficult to pinpoint, but you all have that instinct. Things like courage, being courageous, it's an emotional feeling that you have. Like when I woke up one day and said, look, all of us sat together, went out and voted for change, and one man decided that he will take away our voice. I said, I'm not going to accept it. I know most of you won't accept it. I had the courage to say, you know what? I'm going to start something. I picked up a phone and called people and said, come to my house, let's start a movement. And all those who came there, young Gambian men and women, had the courage because I told them, look, what we're doing here, we could get killed, we could lose everything we have, we could be arrested, our families could suffer. Anyone who does not want to take this risk, please leave. And everybody stayed. And also there are people I called, because I looked at my book, I called people I believe have influence. Maybe out of 25 I called, about 7 came. And that's courage. And that's emotional intelligence. Because at that point in time, the way they were thinking about how can we help our country. They are driven by their values and the emotion of wanting to take back their country, having voted for change. So emotional intelligence allows you to have empathy, to feel, not only for yourself, but for others. It's a very important area. I think you can Google it and read. There's a lot of literature about it. There's a book called Emotional Intelligence 1.0 or 2.0. You can Google it. It's a very important area of leadership. A good leader must not only be emotionally intelligent, but also must be decisive. Like Uncle Saf said, you must decide. You are the captain of the ship. You don't sit on the fence. You can collaborate, you can consult, but at the end of the day, the box comes at you, you must make a decision. Another trait is you must be adaptable, because the only thing that is permanent is change. See, this old man was born before a computer, right? Today, he's the one who introduced me to TikTok. He's like, look at him, he looks younger than me. So you have to keep up with the times. Today, we're talking about artificial intelligence. How many of you have heard of artificial intelligence? Put your hand up. See, look at you, young people. I can teach you about AI, and I'm older than you. I was invited to the Commonwealth Lawyers meeting back, 2 years ago in Bahamas, and I was chairing a committee of some of the top lawyers in the world on how AI will impact the law. And I work in that space at a very global level with some of the top guys in the world. So, you're young people, be adaptable. Just don't stay in your corner. You must adjust to meet the changing dynamics of the world. Today, by the time you live here, something would have changed. Maybe something you listen to here would be outdated as you leave this door. So you must be dynamic. You must be proactive. Don't be that Gambian Yala Bahrain is okay, it's like that. No. I'll tell you a story. I have this uncle of mine named Abdul Kaur. He told me, Sal, one of the worst saying in Wolof is that, Olof ne, kundo bin raisa mam. So gisee, daw. African bi su gisee lu ñuul daw. Mu ne tubaab bi nag, comme kundo bin rey na mamati mamam bi, dafa find out la moo tax mu rey ko. Because du rey doom sitami. That's why they go into space. See that? See the different idea? They will want to find out why, how come? Maybe it's a scam. There's no debit, you know? So it's very important. You must be a good communicator. You must know how to communicate. Like Mr. Njie here, he's a very avid communicator, very strategic communicator. You must also think strategically. You must think at the macro level. Look at things from above, not only from your little box. It's very important. And finally, great leaders empower others. There's a saying that, I think by Tom Peters, that good leaders create followers, and great leaders create other leaders. I mean, look at Abyss. I mean, the before and after Abyss. Because she is empowered. There's a difference between leadership and followership. Good leaders inspire others to be leaders. Bad leaders create cult personalities and have followership. So people who are afraid of you, not that they don't love you, they're not inspired by you because we want them to follow you. But a great leader, people, they want to be like you and they want to create more than you. In fact, Mustapha Njie wants you to be better than him. I want you to be better than me. He wants me to be better than him. That's what great leadership. Because if you light an extra candle, it does not blow yours off. And you do another one. Then the world is a brighter place. You have to have that heart to make the world a better place. Giving someone an opportunity to even better you does not reduce anything in you. In fact, it makes you better and bigger. And when people are empowered, they are more likely to be motivated, engaged, and committed. They are more likely to be innovative and take risks. For example, I'm sure because of the latitude that Mustapha Njie has given to Abyss, she can come up with ideas as to how to make TAF better. TAF doesn't have to give her the plan, because she's been given enough room to be innovative, to make it better. And she will develop her leadership skills in the process, and so on and so forth. I really take this opportunity to impress on you. Remember that. Ask yourself, when you leave this world, how you want to be remembered. I don't want to be remembered with a guy with a wig and gown. I would like to be remembered for my deeds or misdeeds. On that note, I thank you all.
Position yourself and let's take a picture, 5 minutes and out. We'll do one formal one and one very crazy one.
Thank you for watching the TAF Hub. Until we come your way on our next episode, subscribe, like, and share.